Hello, everyone, and welcome to Inspire My Sister podcast, hosted by Sarah Atoj, and the amazing.
I call Natalia.
Previously on the podcast, we had a very insightful conversation around friendship, and we were able to discover what it means to be a good friend and a toxic friend. And now, moving forward today, we're going to be having another insightful conversation. And for the very first time, Natalia, we're going to be having a guest in the studio. Who's going to be this unique, amazing guest that pioneers on our show? You're definitely going to find out just in a few minutes. But look at our beautiful dresses, officially sponsored by SN Clothing, bringing us a glamorous wardrobe with beautiful clothes that empower us through our looks. Natalia, are you excited for today's
I
episode?
am so excited, girl. Hey, guys, thank you so much. You guys actually were so impressive about the episode that came out last Sunday, which was very good. Thank you so much for the response that you guys bring back to us on a daily. We appreciate every comment. We appreciate every interaction. And you can remember, guys, you can follow us on Instagram, you can follow us on TikTok, and then you can follow us as well on Oxygen HD on Facebook. Guys, as you can see, our hair has been slayed and slicked back. What lace are you seeing? Because this girl,
No lace.
I'm rocking this hair. Now, Beleng Hair Contour was actually launched, Sarah, in Pyramid Continental Hotel. And as you can see all the billboards around town, you can just see how the hair is just so beautiful. So I just can't wait to see the person behind Beleng Hair Contour. Can you?
Absolutely. Beleng has been the talk of the town, billboards, social media, posters, and now it's Sarah and Natalia on Inspire My Sister podcast. And this is going to be unique because she's going to be our first guest. So this is going to be a star for today. Guys, thank you so much for all the interactions that you've been making for us all over social media, those that have followed us. We created new platforms for Inspire My Sister so we can share exclusive content from our content as Inspire My Sister. Now, you guys, thank you so much for those that have followed. Keep sharing the platform, keep sharing the content that we'll be putting out there. We're going to go for a very short commercial break. And when we come back from the break, we're going to introduce the powerhouse herself, that is Beleng or Akuany herself. Let's go for a break and return.
Enjoy the refreshing taste of South Sudan, which comes in a unique design bottle with a blue and a black top.
Tasty, well purified and corporately packaged. Natural mineral water. Let's drink the new.
Elite natural mineral water, the taste of South Sudan.
Welcome back from the short break, guys. Now we're going to be starting our conversation and introducing our guest today. But first, if you see us, we're all dressed in white, which is a coincidence. And it also turns out that Beleng Hair Couture's brand color is white, serving you guys with royalty and elegance. Beleng, welcome to Inspire My Sister.
Thank you so much, sisters, for having me.
You look
so
gorgeous.
You
gorgeous.
guys look amazing.
Thank you,
Come
darling.
on.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
So it's actually nice to have you on the show, and you're actually the first guest we're having, which is something very special. So welcome to the show, and we're happy that you are our first guest.
Thank you so much.
So-
I'm honored.
So who is Beleng?
So I am the firstborn amongst 4 boys. I was raised by my mom. My father died when I was at a very young age. I was 11. So I always looked up to my mom, someone who was always worked and always fended for us. She's always worked with a lot of NGOs, going to dangerous fields, doing a lot of danger work, and for a woman, that is really risky. So growing up, I was always inspired and I wanted to take that load from her. And that's why I started Beleng, because this is not just my business, it's a family business. If I grow, my family grows. So I wanted to take that load off from my mom, because being the firstborn it's a full-time job, and being with boys is a full-time job. So when I started Beleng, I wanted something that is a generational wealth, something that when my kids or my brother's kids or my sister's kids, they already found a foundation that is already there, because I've seen the struggles from my mom. I've seen the sleepless nights from my mom. So as young women, I want you to reflect and capture something that inspires you and keeps you moving. My mother has always kept me moving. Her determination, her strength has always kept me moving. So that's who.
Does the name Beleng have a meaning? Is it like just a nickname? Did you pick it or adopt it when you were a child? What does it mean? Because it's your brand name at the same time.
Actually, Beleng is my name from my Bari side, my Equatorian side. So it's not a nickname. Most people think it's a nickname, but it's actually not a nickname. So when my dad married my mom, they couldn't conceive for 2 years. So my dad, being so spiritual, and they all believe in God, he took my mom back to Bari land. I believe it's called Nyarbang, or in Lobono, or something like that. Forgive me if I said it wrong. But he took her back to her people where they prayed for her. There was a tree called Beleng, a tree that lasted for years. They sat, they prayed for her, and they said, if she's gonna be a girl, her name is going to be Beleng. If she's born a boy, her name is gonna be Beling. So this is where I got my name, Beleng. So Beleng is my name from my Mundari side. I'm actually half Mundari. My grandma is Mundari. So I have the Mundari blood in me.
Beautiful.
So
We can see it all in your beauty.
Yeah.
So I'm also representing the Equatorial side and the Dinka side.
And just hearing the story of how the name actually came up, it actually brings us back now to it being a brand. So, what actually inspired you to come up with Beleng Hair Contour?
So when I started Beleng, it actually started first as a clothing line. I ventured into a clothing line, and I wanted to use something that is authentic to me. And because when most people see me, they see how I dress and they see my hair. Actually, when I did Beleng for the first time, people would inbox me and say, is it a hair business? What is it? You know, when I came out with the clothing line, it started off slow, but then I ventured into the hair business because this was something that identified me more than the clothing brand. The clothing brand is still in the works, it's still coming, and it's still going to be part of Beleng.
Amazing. Now, we hadn't personally met before Inspire My Sister. Now, the podcast is the reason why we got to engage and got to know one another, bringing you in as one of our main sponsors. What gave you the confidence to be able to sponsor this podcast and this show as Beleng Hair Couture?
When I first stumbled upon your page on Instagram, I saw you posted something about Inspire My Sister. And I remember I reached out to you and I was like, this is something that is dear to me because growing up, I grew up with a bunch of boys in the house. I didn't have a sister to guide me of someone that we can relate to as sisters, you understand? I only had my mom. And you know, I can't go to my mom with everything, you know?
At a sister level, it's difficult.
Exactly. So you can't really relate with your mother. You need someone, a sister. My sisters were not here. They live abroad. So when I saw this, I was like, oh, cool. This is something that I could jump ship on because I want to see girls relate to you guys the same way I would want to relate to you guys. And this is a massive outreach, you know. This is just the beginning of this podcast. But I feel like with the programs that you guys are yet to do or whatever you're going to do with this, you're here to inspire young girls. And I want to be a part of that. I want to be a part of girls, sisters, sisterhood that I didn't have growing up because it was a bunch of boys. You can imagine boys everywhere in the house. Yeah. So I just want to be part of this and also to inspire young girls who are watching you to say, I can relate to these girls and I can listen to these girls and I can be a part of these girls. That's why I'm part of this.
Wonderful. If we look to the history of Beleng Hair Coutures, it's not a 2-year-old business. Mm-hmm. It's a 2-month-old business. Something that just started 2 months ago and is progressively growing. So it takes so much dedication and intention for you to actually step up and say, despite the fact that my business is small, I'm seeing this initiative. It's supporting back the community and giving back to girls to inspire them. I want to be part of it. So I want to applaud you and say thank you so much for being an intentional woman with a purpose and dedicating yourself to also serve and to help people, despite the fact that you're an entrepreneur.
Thank you so much.
Sarah, speaking about entrepreneurship, there are so many challenges that actually come with entrepreneurship. Actually, being a young entrepreneur, coming into the entrepreneurship scale line, and how the crisis of South Sudan is happening at the moment. So, Beleng, as a young entrepreneur, what are some of the challenges that you have come across and what are the lessons that you've learned from it?
The beauty industry is a multi-million-dollar industry. So penetrating through the industry, you have to find your niche and you have to find what separates you from other brands. So identifying that can be a challenge to people that really don't know what they want. And also you have to focus on branding yourself. And that took me a while to do that because I needed to find what is my niche and what product do I want to put in the market and how long do I want the product to last in the market. And also finding vendors has really been crazy because there's thousands of vendors across the world. So that has really, it took me back a few months because I had to find the perfect vendor for my market. Because if you bring a product in that is not quality, then it sets you back, you know, and your brand starts with a low note. So finding vendors was a problem because I had to test each and every product that I'm bringing into the market. So you can imagine how many weeks I had to test before I could introduce Beleng to the market.
Wonderful. You know, people be like, is that Beleng hair? That is so expensive. Or how much could this wig cost? And your brand speaks the reason as to why it's expensive. You know, they always say, anything that you buy cheap can easily wear out. But as long as the quality of the brand is heavy and is great, then absolutely that's a powerful brand. And I think that's what signifies you when it comes to this industry or to your brand. You have been able to label your brand not just with quantity, but with very good quality. Beleng, you inspire a lot of South Sudanese young women, most especially those that want to start up their own businesses, those that want to become entrepreneurs in various sectors. Now, to these girls that look up to you and that you inspire and want to become like you, what is your message to them?
My message to these young entrepreneurs that want to start up something, do your research. With research comes education. When you research, you educate yourself on the brand or anything that you want to start. Planning. Planning gives you more time to put together a brand that you want to succeed. And Beleng is a blessing. As I said earlier, it's my Mundari name. I wasn't conceived till they prayed for me. So for me, this is a blessing to me. This is something that I hold dearly. And the name Beleng, it will bring many and many, many more Belengs. And this is what I want to inspire other girls. So find that story and stick to that story and let that story be a drive and let that be a brand in you and also outside. Let that brand shine through your struggles. You're not defined by your struggles. You're defined by the outcomes. And Beleng is my outcome from my struggle.
Absolutely beautiful and inspiring. And I believe that anybody that watches this podcast today and hears the POV that you've shared with us, it is definitely going to inspire them. Thank you so much, Beleng. Now, for those that watch and want to contact Beleng Hair Couture, how do they be able to reach out?
So we're on Instagram at Beleng_hair_couture. We're on Facebook, Beleng. We're on TikTok at Beleng_hair_couture. And also we have billboards around. We have contacts. We're in Malakia, located next to Juba Mall, just along UAP building. So you can contact us and we'll have someone serving you.
Thank you guys so much for being with us from the beginning to the end. This actually brings us to the end of this episode. Thank you so much to all our sponsors, SN Clothing. Thank you so much for sponsoring our outfits today. And our newborn baby, Beleng Hair Couture. Thank you so much for sponsoring this episode as well. And not forgetting Oxygen TV as well. Thank you so much for sponsoring us.
To say the least, we've been able to have so much conversations and more that are yet to come, guys. We have Inspire My Sister on Instagram and also on TikTok. Follow Oxygen TV on Facebook. Don't forget to follow Beleng Hair Couture, who's going to be the main sponsor for our podcast, and also Akuany, Natalia, and Sarah Atoch. With this, we sign out from the studio saying thank you all so much. We love you all from the bottom of our heart. Let's continue to inspire one another as sisters and build a strong, resilient community of women in South Sudan. Lots of love. See you all very soon.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
This is Oxygen. Breathe in.